Welcome to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Faces, issue 36, A Fistful of Wands. On the cover, Lighthammer is leading the team in an over-enthusiastic tour of the Moon Harbor Zoo. Felix is keeping pace, but Brian and Inky have wandered off to stare at an enclosure full of bucking giraffes. We turn the page and our story begins. So our first panel is an overhead shot of the Moon Harbor Zoo, and our just great heroes here. Whose idea was it to go to the zoo?
Oh, it was mine. Oh, it was absolutely Lighthammer's idea. And I think we get this pretty idyllic shot, and then we see Lighthammer playing full tour guide, and where there should be cute animals, there's a text box cutting across half the page where Lighthammer's and I saved this panda when there was the attack on the zoo 2 years ago, and I saved this shark, and kind of trails off as we see Lighthammer walking through the zoo.
Cool. What is Lighthammer in full costume?
Yeah, Lighthammer's back in full costume.
Cool. I had a feeling.
And I'm live streaming the entire thing.
Of course you are.
It's really impressive that they have room for a shark tank right next to pandas.
Oh, I'm putting it the map now that we zoom in closer.
And Brian, how are you dressed in this scene?
I'm just in a very nerdy checkery shirt and shorts.
Excellent. And Felix, where are you in this scene? How you looking?
I'm standing a slight bit back from the group, following, and I am just in some casual.
I think Enki is wearing essentially the prep version of the Lighthammer costume, an almost gold polo shirt and khakis. And Enki clearly looks super, super uncomfortable in what he's wearing. But Lighthammer, I think, has just taken it upon himself to I want to say raise this child, but to force his opinions on Enki and make Enki love him.
So, Enki, where are you in this scene?
Oh, I think I'm at the back, and I'm looking really angry, being forced to listen to Lighthammer explain.
I turn to everyone and I'm all right, so I really think we should probably check out the giraffes. They're typically most active between 1 and 2. So we'll get there right at 1:15. They should be very active right now. And that would be excellent for us. And then, since we'll be over in that area anyway, let's go to the lions. One of the lions, fun fact, we did a photo shoot together 8 or 9 months ago. And it's pretty great. Wasn't it pretty great, Fee?
Felix has a look on his face of pure, you might be overwhelming the kid a little bit. And he does a little finger twirl and he's with all of this.
I am not overwhelming Enki. Enki, am I overwhelming you?
I think Enki wasn't paying attention at all, and he looks over and he has this devious look in his eyes, and suddenly he whistles on his fingers. A pigeon flies over and poops right on Lighthammer's costume.
It looks like Inky said exactly what he meant.
We get a panel of Lighthammer's massive grin, and then we get a closer panel where we just see the gritted teeth behind it. Then we get an even closer panel where we can see the blood vessels in the eye twitch, and I'm that's okay. Accidents happen. It's fine. And I have the microfiber cloths and a costume cleaning detergent in my bag, or in my I don't have pockets. They're tucked into my
Lighthammer branded armor spray.
I've got armor spray, but it's a tiny little vial, and it's tucked into my chest because I don't have pockets, because I've established that the Lighthammer costume does not have pockets. And I pull it out and spritz my shoulder, and then quickly wipe it off, and then tuck them both back in.
I thought you were going to install pockets on that thing.
I turn, and I think I've turned slightly away as this is happening, and I look up and my eyes are just very dark. And I'm it's about the aesthetic. I told you it's about the aesthetic. I can't have pockets because I can't put my hands in my pockets, and that's an aesthetic choice. And then I turn back and I'm so Enki, where do you want to go?
Do they have deer here?
We get a panel of Lighthammer just blinking really slowly. Deer? You want to see the deer like there are in the woods everywhere? You want to see deer? Yep, there are deer here.
I mean, I'd be fine with boar too.
I don't think they have a boar exhibit here, Light.
I think at this point, Enki looks over and sees an enclosure with a capybara, and his eyes lights up, and suddenly he goes, "I want to see that thing. What's that?"
It's a big rat.
And I think Enki just runs over to the capybara enclosure.
Brian's running up too because, unironically, he has never heard of these in his life.
And I want to keep the panel on Ryder and Lighthammer here for a second.
So, how you doing, Light? You know, bird shit and all.
I'm trying very hard not to murder a 14-year-old, and I don't think it's going well.
Oh, lighten up.
I give him this dead stare, and I'm like, only I'm allowed to make light puns.
Nah. So, real talk. You think this is all gonna be okay?
I mean, it's a zoo. It's not that big of a deal. If he likes the giant rats.
Light, not this. I mean, everything.
With all due respect to everything you all have been through as a team, the worst part of it is over. She's gone. The demon that went with her is gone. The cult is gone. There are other things, but if we handled the cult and Zilkiev, we can handle anything.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wasn't there, but the team.
I'm just worried about you guys. That's all. Let's go look at this pig thing.
As you start off, I'm like, we see a panel of a close up on me and just a really small text bubble that says, "You guys?" And I watch Ryder walk away and then quickly jog to catch up.
Oh, excellent. And I think our next panel is a shot from behind the capybara. We can see the capybara and Inky and Brian both looking over the enclosure wall at it. And we can see Felix walking up in the background. What are the faces here on you two?
I think Enki at this point is just talking to the capybara and going, "Oh, really? My God, that's amazing."
I'm just wide-eyed listening to the sounds it's making.
Can Inky talk to animals?
Definitely.
Cool. And I think we get it opening its mouth and saying thank you back. Brian just hears whatever noises capybaras make. Does anyone know? Do they?
I haven't the faintest clue.
Yeah. And do you two want anything before the rest of the team joins back up?
Do you want something more, Brian?
As they come up, I spin around and look all innocent as a tiny little flying drone flies away from the capybara and into my shirt.
And I think Enki looks over at Felix, who joins us first, and then looks at the capybara and goes, "Oh, that's Felix. Yeah, he's our friend. He's cool."
And do we want anything else out of this scene, y'all?
I think I come up to Enki and put my arm over his shoulder, and I'm like, yeah, I talk to them too. It's so cute. They're just such smart creatures, you know? I just wish I knew what they were saying.
And I think we get a speech bubble from the capybara that says, "Is this guy making fun of me?"
And as the capybara says to Enki, "Is he making fun of me?" I think Enki just turns to the capybara and says, "Oh no, he always dresses like that. I swear, he makes me do it too."
And you say that in a person voice?
I say that in a human speech. Yeah.
I think we get another one of those close-up panels of Lighthammer, and I think we get the onomatopoeia of grind on Lighthammer's big teeth as he just forces that massive grin again.
Fucking delightful.
I feel like Brian should have been more confused now that I know that Enki was talking in understandable English. But nah.
So our next scene takes place a couple hours later. Y'all have been going through some exhibits. What exhibit are we at? Or where in the zoo are we when our next scene takes place?
I think we've established that there's a lot of really amazing exotic animals. And Enki has been I want to look at the insects and snakes. So we've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff.
Oh no, Enki hates insects.
Oh, right. Of course. That makes sense. So maybe snakes?
Yeah, he definitely loves snakes.
We turn the page, and our next panel is inside one of those cheesy rock-shaped snake houses. There's a editor's note that says a few hours later, and we see the team looking in at through glass at various snakes. Someone want to position themselves in the scene?
I hate snakes, so I am cringed against the wall on the other side, in the doorway.
Ryder's probably holding a snake.
Oh,
Holding.
Excellent. Yeah, there's definitely got to be a little touch tank.
I've got my face pressed against some venomous snake containment chamber and doing science, but nobody knows what.
Are you using a notepad to do your science?
No.
So what does that look like?
You just see my hand moving, and the snake is also moving in some way, possibly in relation to the hand.
Oh, don't worry, Brian. It's just tracking your movements. Here, you want to hold this one?
I spin around, another tiny little robot flies out from the snake.
And I think like in the panel behind that, before the robot flies out, we see the snake turn around as well.
I think as Brian is doing like the gestures to the snake, like Enki is like slightly behind him and trying to copy the movements he's doing.
Oh man, it's like a dance party, all 4 of us. Wait, 3.
Yeah, I'm definitely not dancing.
Are we dancing with the snake?
We get the panel of like Brian following Felix over to the like touch tank. And then Lighthammer, you start to hear kind of a ruckus outside. I think you're the only one who picks it up because you're very close to the door.
Oh my god, there's something happening. We have to leave now. Goodbye. Bye, snakes. And I like grab Felix's hand and pull him. I don't think it's like a gentle pull. It's like a like yank.
Hey, be careful. These are delicate creatures.
Yeah, we get the panel of Lighthammer like yanking on Felix's arm where Felix is holding a snake in the other hand. I like a reaction from Lighthammer on that.
I don't think I notice. I think I'm like, actually, I think what it is I think I like grab him and yank him in front of me. And then I like go to like push him forward and my hand lands on the snake and I shriek.
Here, Brian. Take her. She's fragile.
Wait, are you like gently handing this to me, or is there tossing involved?
I'm handing it to you. I'm nice to snakes. I like.
All right. So while Lighthammer is screaming his head off, nice little gentle exchange. Oh, I'm gonna pet it.
And at this point, the noise outside has risen to like a lot of yells and screams of kind of terror, and everyone can hear it at this point.
All right, kids, let's suit up. Looks like we got a problem to deal with. Not you, like you're already suited up.
I think as Ryder says suit up, Enki removes his clothes.
Can I get a flashback panel?
Absolutely.
So as you say suit up and we see Enki start to like take off his clothes, we flash back to all 4 of us in my apartment. And there's a tailor there who is making superhero costumes for all of us. As I think we established last time that Ryder and Lighthammer now match, like the gold of their suits matches. I'm trying to get Brian and Enki into matching costumes with us. And like the tailor is currently like measuring Enki and like talking about like his powers and what he would need in terms of a suit. And I'm like, yeah, just like as long as it's got like the same gold, like that's good. We just need like we need some accents of the gold so everyone like matches, you know?
I want to point out that in that flashback, the look on Ryder's face the entire time is one of absolute blah.
Our costumes already match. You can't even deny that.
I'm aware.
I think Brian's costume is the option in front of Brian. There is a really lovely like sketch of a costume, and I think like that's actually a pretty classy like what Brian would want costume with just like little accents of gold. I think Enki's costume is like spandex suit with like gold vining like over the top, very like Tarzan-esque decorations like wrapped around it.
Can I get this without the sparkles?
Okay, but like if you're gonna be in the camera, like you gotta get the sparkles to show up really nicely on film.
You don't have to have the sparkles. God, Light.
Felix, this is not your decision. This is not your credit card.
I can make it my credit card.
I look at the tailor and I'm like, absolutely not. Oh my god, and you know who the tailor is? The tailor is Veronica, Flyby's roommate.
Yes.
I need that in my life.
Is there Al somewhere running in the background?
Oh my god, Al, TBT. I look over at Brian and I'm like, okay, we can get it without like half the sparkles. Can we compromise?
I don't want them on my fingers.
Oh, no. These are like sewn into the suit. Like it's like gold thread. So it's not like sparkles.
Yeah, about the gold too.
You get this the most angry or the angriest look anyone has ever seen on Lighthammer's face. Like even when Lighthammer was like corrupted by mutagen, Lighthammer never got this angry.
This is the absolute most angriest face we've ever seen.
Yeah. This is Lighthammer in his full fury.
I am so honored.
And I just say, and like the text box is really small, but there's a lot of space between each word. I'm like, you can get rid of the sparkles, but you're keeping the gold.
Okay. And then in tiny words, I can work around that.
And then I turn back to Enki and I'm like, so what do you think, Enki? Like, is the gold vining too much? Should we like pull it back? What are we thinking?
Why are we doing this again?
Right. So your frail human body in line of danger needs something to protect it. And, you know, if you're gonna wear a costume and you don't have one yet, we might as well like get you something nice, you know? Like I figure we might as well all match and look like a real team.
I get that you want something nice, so why are you making me wear this?
I turned to Veronica and I'm like, no, he didn't mean that. He's just uncultured. And then I turned back and I'm like, Enki, you're being so rude to our guest here.
Oh no, I like her. She makes fun stuff. I just don't get why it needs to be gold.
It has to be gold for the photo opportunities because we have to match.
What's a photo?
We're in my apartment, so I point at the wall of photos of Lighthammer.
But all of those just have you, so why do I need to wear this?
That's not true. That one has like 2 other people in it. Look. And I point to like one of the like 11 photos on the wall. I think as I point to the photo on the wall, the panel like zooms in on it. And then we get another like framed photo of all of us back in the present. And that's our like segue forward.
We cut back from the picture of the hanging on Lighthammer's wall to back into the snake rim. And we see the panel with Ryder saying, suit up.
I'm going to put 1 foot forward and clap. Suddenly, you see the shirt that Lighthammer picked out, with 50% of the glitter. It'll unfurl from the folded collar of the shirt I'm wearing, and then a metal bar will shoot out from the back of my shorts, following the contour of my spine. At the top of it, you see the hilt of the fire sword. Metal ribs come out from the side of the bar and surround me, giving my body a metal frame. The shirt was only visible for barely a single panel before it's fully covered. A steel helmet extends from my glasses. At eye level is an opening formed by 2 triangular sort of holes, almost like, I guess you could say, an A shape on both sides. Although, I mean, like, if it's an A shape, I guess it would be without that thing in the middle, because that'd be like floating. Yeah. And then as I stand there in my battle pose, finally, a cape shoots out of the back, accompanied by a little puff sound effect.
I think Enki looks at Brian and goes, oh my god, that's so awesome, and then looks at Lighthammer and goes, can I dress like that next time?
I turn and I look at both of you and I'm like, oh my god, I hate this team so much. And I turn and I'm like, I had pulled out my hammer for like an aggressive attack, and I just like walked down the path, dragging the hammer behind me.
What color's the cape?
Yellow. It's the same cape that I've always been wearing.
Okay.
It's got the Asimov logo. And now you're going to find a previous episode where I said it's cyan.
I'm not gonna look.
Somebody will. Curse you, viewer!
We get a panel as I'm walking away with like small speech bubble, and I'm like, couldn't even change the cape color. You had to take the yellow cape instead of the gold cape, even though yellow and gold clash so much, and they're just not a good combination. It's fine. You just have to go against all my wishes all the time. Whatever.
Light. Shut up. It's fine.
And Inky, what did you end up in? What is your final ending here?
I think I started out with the costume that Lighthammer gave me, but as the next panel outside of the snake house happens, you can see that Enki drew in Sharpie like the same motif on his shirt that Brian has.
Delightful.
Enki has an Asimov logo on his chest.
There's definitely an Asimov logo on my back, yeah.
I love this team.
And I used to have a rider mask.
Y'all just copyright infringing each other.
I just want us to match. I just want us to look like a good, cohesive unit.
Yeah. No. There's where you messed up. The cohesive part.
I like your shirt.
The Fantastic Five did it.
Henshin. That's where Ryder says Henshin and then transforms into his costume, which is his same costume he's been wearing for the past X issues.
Is there a crowd watching us as we step out?
As you step out, there's a crowd rushing past you. People are yelling and screaming. There's a lot of scared people. And you turn and look the direction they're coming, and we get a panel of a bucking giraffe. And standing on the back of that giraffe, there is a person in what at first appears to be a long, like, cowboy duster, but it transitions into like a full wizard robe. And on their head is a cowboy hat that has a bit of a peak to the middle, a little bit reminiscent of like a wizard hat. And we get a close-up panel of them, and they have like 6-shooter holsters on their hips, but in each holster is a like gnarled wooden wand. And there's a editor's note that says gun wizard, they, them. In one of their hands is a whip, and they're using that to drive forward 4 other giraffes in front of them, stampeding down the path. Y'all, welcome to a giraffe rustling. So next panel, we cut back to the team. Who's acting first here? I'm going to hand this over to y'all. Actually, let's enter battle against a foe. Okay, so when you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, add 2 to the team pool, so we're at 3. Who is the leader?
Ryder.
Light, you got this.
Enki would never let me be the leader. Actually, then again, Enki did just defer to me talking about the costume. So yeah, I think I'm the leader.
Yep. Nope. I'm giving Light leadership.
Brian, Inky?
Yep. What they said.
Definitely not. I think I see Brian as leader.
Absolutely.
To be fair, it doesn't. I mean, it matters if we want to take an influence to not lose a team, or take a condition to not lose a team. But I don't think anyone has influence over the whole team right now.
It's true. I don't think anyone does.
Okay.
I do.
I actually do. What the fuck? How did I do that?
Okay, I don't. I would say we got 2 votes for Lighthammer as the leader. Brian said he was cool with it, so do you want to say Lighthammer's leader?
Yeah, if we say Lighthammer's the leader with like a majority vote, I'm going to go ahead and automatically say there's a mistrust. That seem fair?
Lighthammer.
That's fair. Very fair.
Cool.
Okay. Does the leader have influence over every teammate?
Nope.
Okay. Lighthammer, what's your purpose in the fight?
What is my purpose right now? Stop the gun wizard, I think.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be super, super flashy at this moment.
And Asimov?
Whatever the gun wizard's purpose is, the opposite of that.
Okay. Ryder?
Restoring order.
I think that's close enough. Inky?
I want to be like Brian.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give it to y'all because Brian is focusing on the same thing Lighthammer is, so that works for me. You do mistrust the leader of the team, so I'm going to remove a team unless Lighthammer wants to take a condition.
Let me look at my conditions. Hold on. I feel like insecure is fair. I'm going to mark insecure.
Okay. And is the team ill-prepared or off balance?
I don't think so. I mean,
I was just holding a snake.
yeah, maybe off balance.
But we even got into costumes and stuff, so it sounds like we were drilled how to get into this situation.
I'm okay with either answer. I think this is a choice more than a situation here.
I feel like when we walked out, did we expect to see a gun wizard on a giraffe? Did we prepare for this?
I don't think you can't be prepared for a gun wizard on a giraffe.
Yeah, let's call it ill-prepared or off balance.
Okay. Get reaction shots when we cut back to the team.
Yeah, Ryder has definitely has a face palm.
I reach my hands up to my face to try and rub my eyes, but then my hands can't reach my eyes because of the helmet.
I just sigh for like probably 3 panels of just me sighing.
I think Enki looks over at Brian and goes, "Are we fighting the giraffe?"
I think the thing on top of it. What are you?
We get a panel of the gun wizard following the sound of Asimov's voice and seeing a group of heroes. And they reach their other hand into one of the holsters, pull out a wand, and then they like snap their arm forward at you. And there's like a little pop effect. and you see a shotgun just pop into existence and cock. I'm the gun wizard.
Yeah, that's bad.
Who's closest?
I am. I said I was in the front.
What do you do?
I take the hammer, which I said I've been dragging behind me, and like flip it up over my shoulder. And then I point it at them and send a sonic blast that I think is trying to stop it from hitting whoever they're aimed at.
Wait, are you hitting the shotgun or the wand? Because the shotgun is floating in air.
I'm trying to hit the shotgun, because the shotgun is the thing that could kill people.
Okay, who is second closest?
That would be me.
Cool, you were the one getting shot at. Lighthammer, go ahead and roll to defend.
That's plus savior, right?
Yep.
I'm so glad that I have influence over Ryder. Oh, I'm really glad because I'm insecure, so that's a -2. So let's see how this goes. That's a 4, everybody.
So we get the shockwave flying towards the shotgun with these same like traditional, Lighthammer lyrics or theme song interspersed within, and it blasts the shotgun away. We see it like flying off into the distance, and then it poofs, and we cut to like Lighthammer with a bit of like a satisfied look, I guess, and then we see 2 like little pops behind Lighthammer. And 2 like 6-shooters pop up and both fire. Lighthammer, go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow.
And that's a 12, everybody.
Amazing.
What are you picking?
I think I lose control of myself and my powers in a terrible way. I think my armor is pretty solid. Like it's really well built. So the bullets hit like the back of my armor and it doesn't hurt me, but it hits like 2 like wires, or it hits like something mechanical on my on my suit. I think it's just this blast of sound energy that just like ricochets across the entire zoo. But I think it's so high pitched that it just makes all the animals freak out. And we now have like animals like leaping out of cages.
Oh yeah, excellent. I think like notably very like within a fairly close distance, we see like a small herd of elephants starting like kicking down the glass and like or kicking down like the fencing and starting to like disperse throughout the panicking crowd. And who wants the spotlight next from here?
Ryder would.
So, cut into Ryder, what do you do?
Ryder's going to look to the other 2 members of the group and say, Inky, make a fence, make a plant fence. Asimov, I need you to send out your drones and keep track of all the animals. And then Ryder is going to basically run to the zoo guards and say something to the effect of, I need you to get all these people to safety. We got stampeding animals and shit's about to get real bad.
So you're going to like every guard with super speed?
Yep.
Cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you make a provoke at the end of this. So you're going to be running to...
Could I use symbol of authority instead? And I would say due to me being a rider, it would know exactly who I am.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is we see the panels of you zipping to everyone. And like, we don't see what you're saying. And then it cuts back to you at Lighthammer's side. I'm going to have you roll that here in a little bit. The guards are going to take a bit to start doing their thing. And I'm going to have you roll that like when that they start doing it so we can see how that all goes.
Okay, beautiful.
And we get the panel of you getting back to Lighthammer.
Light, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Something just happened with my suit.
Can you fix it?
Does this have like long-lasting effects on my suit?
We get like bits of sparks and we see a panel from the inside, like your view screen or overlay. And it has the occasional like very quick like static glitch. So it's not like in any way majorly malfunctioning, but it's not working perfectly. It's going to need to be repaired at some point.
Can I make a suggestion?
No, you cannot.
Perfect. So my suggestion is that like the suit is fully functional, even though it's sparking a little bit, except my live stream goes down.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, super into it.
So all those things are still true, but also my live stream is now down. And I'm like, yeah, and I better do it soon. My viewers can't see what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
And I think with that, I'm going to cut over to who wants Spotlight next, Inky or Brian?
Ooh, can I go first?
So we're going to cut over to Inky. Inky, what do you do?
I think so. Felix just yelled at Enki to make a fence, and I think Enki is gonna completely ignore that and look to Brian and say, "Hey, Brian, look at this one." And I'm I'm going to try to sneak a vine underneath the wizard's duster robe, and I'm going to try to pull a wedgie on the gun wizard.
All right. What is your intent here? Like, what do you want to accomplish out of that?
I think I want to get the gun wizard off the giraffe. I think that's the intent.
Okay, then I think we should do this through a directly engage. That work for you?
Sure. And that's a 9.
All right.
So I get to pick one, right? 7 to 9, pick one. Yeah. So I guess that would be take something from them, right?
Yeah, if you wanted to knock them off.
So I'm going to pull a wedgie on the gun wizard, making them fall off the giraffe.
Excellent. We get these vines growing up, and like they're caught completely unaware. The giraffe keeps like stampeding and running with the others, and they just drop. We get the panel of them like just laying flat on their back for a moment, and then they pull themselves up, dust themselves off, and like they're still a fair distance from you. They look at you and go, "You shouldn't have done that, kid." And they pull both wands out. And from there, we're going to cut to Ryder real quick. Go ahead and roll that move, your symbol of authority.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. On a hit, they choose 1, do what you say, get out of the way, attack you at a disadvantage, or freeze. They're going to do what you say. So, like, in the background of this panel, we start seeing the guards, like, starting to get the crowds cleared out. It's going to take a bit, but the crowds are like slowly getting less dense. But we do also see the elephants have like kicked down the fence and are starting to run out through the remaining bits of crowd. In the foreground of this panel, we see Inky, and then we see like 12 different pops in the air in front of him, and we see an array of different guns pointed at him. Brian, what do you do?
Do they have a cowboy hat?
Yes.
First, I'm gonna take a step back and give a knowing nod and smile at Enki, and then a look of determination, a look of challenge, because I think I could do one better.
As a reminder, there are like 12 different guns pointed directly at Inky at the moment.
Well, then I guess I don't have time to acknowledge Enki's what Enki did. I'm just going to go straight for their hat, and I'm trying to catch them off guard by having drones lift the hat off their head.
Give me a defend.
No!
Well, that's a 6. Does anyone want to spend team?
I want to spend team, sure.
One goddamn heavy hat.
I think we get the hat lifting, and Gun Wizard glances at it just briefly, but very quickly returns their focus to Inky, and we see the guns cock.
I can also spend team to help that.
Maybe it doesn't make much sense that Enki would help right now.
Yeah.
I throw my hands back and do the like I whip around because they're behind me. And we see the tiny writing sound waves going, the like precision sound waves that we got last issue. We see the precision waves like zip across, and I think they like delay the cocking of the gun by like jamming every gun at the same time.
Oh, excellent. And that brings that to a 7. So, Brian, make your choices.
I like that what happened is that Brian defended, but all Brian really did was pull a hat up, and Lighthammer actually defended.
I want to take influence over Enki and give him a high five. And I already have influence over him. So
Shift them labels.
I want to shift his superior up, because that was pretty smart, and his mundane down.
Done.
I'd also like to point out that because Brian took influence, that means Brian lifted a hat, Lighthammer defended Inky, and Inky was like, "Yo, Brian, thank you so much for saving my life."
I see the high five and literally like glower and turn back, and Ryder's right next to me, and I'm like, no one appreciates me here. No one cares when I do things. Oh my god, I hate this team.
I think me and Enki are just both so happy about the wedgie. We're really celebrating what Enki did.
And do you want to expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation?
I want to escalate. No, I want to expose myself to danger.
Okay. I'm going to frame this like I think how this goes down. Anyone can interject if they don't think it works like this. So we see the guns, the hat lift, and as they're cocking, we see the light hammer, like precision sound waves jam them. And I think Inky just kind of steps to the side to accept the high five from Brian and just steps out of the path as the guns go off. Inky, you cool with that?
Yep.
Cool. And with that, all of the guns swing around to point at Brian. Lighthammer, I'm going to follow up with you. What are you doing?
I look back at Brian, and we get a speech bubble, and I'm like, Brian's clearly the leader here. Brian can do whatever he wants. Brian doesn't need my help. And then I look at Ryder, and like immediately I'm like, ugh, fine. Because I just know he's giving me that like death stare, being like, be a mature adult. And I turn, and I think I'm trying to hit Brian's knees to knock him down so the guns like go off on top of him.
Wow. Thank.
Think that's a defend?
Yeah, I think it is a defend too.
Though, if you want, we can do it unleash your powers, but if it goes badly, it's going to hurt Brian.
To be honest, I was originally kind of thinking that it was a directly engage. Like, I'm trying to take his footing from him, but I'm also like not going to be upset if I hurt him a little bit in the process. But it's probably a defend. So we'll roll the defend and probably fail it. Yeah, we failed that. That's a 3.
So we see the sound wave hit Brian square in the chest, which does knock him well out of the way of the bullets. So that's a good thing. It knocks him backwards in through the wall of the snake cave. And I think we get a panel of Brian like laying amongst some rubble, surrounded by like 8 cobras that are all like pulled back, ready to strike. Brian, go ahead and mark a condition.
I am afraid.
Okay, and we're going to cut from there to Inky. Inky, most of the guns at this point seem to be swinging around towards Lighthammer. Gun Wizard's focus is very much on Lighthammer. It's all that gold armor. It's very, very eye-catching. What are you doing?
I'm going to try to whistle again, and I'm going to try to make a pelican fly right into Ace.
Excellent. Are you trying to attack with that, or what's your intent?
I think my intent is to maybe distract, maybe take some of the guns away, something like that.
Directly engage a threat feel right for what you're trying to do?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Can roll to directly engage a threat.
So that's an 11.
All right. On a 10 plus, pick 2.
I think the 2 I'm going to pick is create an opportunity for my allies and take something from them. I think Enki whistles, and from behind a nearby thicket suddenly flies a pelican. And like, pelicans are pretty big, right? The pelican flies right into their face and they drop the main gun they're carrying.
Oh, like drops one of the wands?
Yeah, guns, wands, whatever.
Okay, yeah. We see it like knock one of the wands out of their hand, and like half the guns fall to the ground. Ryder, what do you do?
I'm taking the other wand, and then I'm grabbing the one that fell, and I'm running away with them.
Cool. You can absolutely get the one that dropped without a roll. I'm gonna need you to directly engage to take the other one.
Neat, I am.
Actually, if you want, you could use the opportunity to make that an unleash to just snatch it and go.
I can do that too.
It's up to you.
I am going to do directly engage a threat, but I'm going to do fight the good fight instead, because I'm not going to be I'm going to be very much pulling my punches in that I'm taking the wand, and I'm going to say something to the effect of, there's kids over here. Guns aren't allowed in the zoo, and then run away with the wands.
Go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
Those wands are mine.
I see you. I saw on a 10 plus, pick 2.
The only thing I can't do is I can't impress, surprise, or frighten the opponent, but I wasn't looking to. I was looking to take something from them, any of their wands, plus the one on the ground. And I'm going to resist, avoid any blows that they may throw out in retaliation.
And we get like a panel of them like suddenly wandless, being pecked at by a pelican, and they just like throw their hands up like and start like backing away, and they look like they're about to make a break for it. There are also still like elephants rampaging through like what remains of the crowd, and Brian thrown in through a window. I'm going to cut to Lighthammer. Lighthammer, what are you doing?
I want to intentionally trigger that super high pitch frequency sound, but like I want to do it to the point where it like makes all the animals like debilitate. Like it debilitates all the animals. Like it stops them from moving because they have to like recoil in pain.
You want to like knock them all out?
I'm trying not to knock them unconscious, but like I want to like at least daze them long enough for like zookeepers to grab them.
Okay. Yeah, you can unleash your powers to do that. I think that is going to like significantly drain your suit in its damaged state. So
Yeah, it's fine.
You're still going to be good, but you got a timer on you.
That works for me.
Cool. Go ahead and roll it.
That was a 7.
So on a 7 to 9, do you want to take a condition or do you want it to be unstable or temporary?
I think I'm going to take a condition. I think I'm taking hopeless. Now that my suit is powering down, I'm suddenly like, oh fuck, I don't have powers without this thing, really. Which isn't true. I have got the hammer, but like a lot of my other cool stuff I lose, so
Yeah.
I'm taking hopeless.
Okay, cool. And we see like an overhead shot of the park and this like wave radiate out. And then we can see like the animals just slowing and Zookeeper starting to get them under control. And when we cut back down, Gun Wizard has broken into a full like sprint running. Inky, what are you doing?
I'm going to, now that the gun wizard has become pathetic, I think Enki is gonna completely lose interest and run over to where Lighthammer is, and I think I'm going to just instantly calm down the nearby elephants by talking to them, showing that I could have done that the entire time and basically one-upping Lighthammer.
I think that just happens. Like they come out of their daze and kind of like just calmly walk over and like we see like Inky talking to like a crowd of elephants. Do we get a Lighthammer reaction shot to that? Do you want one?
No, I think I'm so like distracted by the suit powering down, and like I think it took a lot out of me to do that, like intense sound wave. So I think I'm kind of just like chilling.
Okay. And from here, I think we're going to cut back into Brian, who no one wants to save.
Ooh, I've been waiting for this.
What do you do, Brian? You got like a bunch of cobras just lunging at you when we cut back.
Well, I'm also covered in metal.
Yeah, they're sneaky snacks. What are you doing?
Could I just ignore them and see what happens? Because I kind of want to say something to our little friend who's running away.
Like just climb out of the hole, back out?
Oh, I'm in a hole.
Well, you've been like thrown through the wall into one of the tanks and back in the like snake cave.
Yeah, I think as they're running and they approach where a bull is, what color are they wearing?
It's like a brown leather.
I'd like to just shout out, hey, you know, a common misconception that bulls hate the color red. They actually hate brown. Did I do that?
Yeah.
All right. That is the tactical. All right, the move tactical genius. I roll plus savior.
Go. It took. I always
Wait,
forget
why is this
about
plus
that
savior?
Move. I don't know. That's odd.
Okay, well, yeah. The trigger is when you point out the obvious flaw in a known foe's plan. So I think that does apply.
Yeah. I always forget about that move, and like you'll say something, I'm like, oh.
I have to pick one. I don't think I made my teammates feel like pawns. I think I missed something important.
The cobra's about to bite you?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep. So I think what we see is Gun Wizard fairly far off. And then we just see them get hit and taken out by a bull. I'm not even gonna do the +1 and the advantage thing. They just get hit and taken out. They're on their last legs here.
Yep. Meanwhile,
and I think at the same time, the thing that you missed that was important is the open hatch on the back of the suit. And like we get a panel of seeing a cobra climbing into it. Why don't you go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow?
That's a 10. Oh wait, no, that's a 12. It should be +2 conditions.
Okay. So that's a 12. What do you want to pick?
Yeah, cobras are fucking dangerous. I'm out.
Okay, I think like we see like your eyes go wide in surprise. Like we see the panel of the cobra climbing in. We see your eyes go wide in surprise after you yelled that, and then I think you just like droop and stay standing upright in your suit. We're gonna cut to the rest of the team.
Is okay. Is the wizard okay? And is Brian okay? I'm saying this to Light and Inky.
We don't know anything happened with Brian. Brian just kind of slumped, but it looks like he's still standing upright.
I think you heard some some
Okay.
clattering.
I look at Felix and I'm like, you get Brian, I'll get the wizard.
Sounds good. And I'm gonna run over to Brian and check the suit, realize there's a cobra in it, pull the cobra out, put it down, and be like, shit. Guys, I gotta get him to the hospital. Like yesterday.
What do you do?
Well, if no one says anything, I'm running him to the hospital.
I assumed he was just gonna run. I assumed he wasn't gonna wait for us.
I mean, I was, but I was waiting on you to say anything if you were.
I think I just like toss a thumbs up over my shoulder as I'm running towards the wizard.
And while this is happening, Riders, I'm gonna assume you like pull Brian out of the suit and run him. What does that look like?
Yeah, I would start disassembling the suit, throw him over my shoulder, and bolt to the nearest hospital.
If you could find out how to undo the suit,
I can break the suit.
my great mistake.
And Iggy, what are you doing during all this?
I think I'm just riding around on the elephant, getting all the animals back in their pens. Just having a lot of fun meeting all of the animals.
And I think with like the low stress, I'm not going to make you roll for that. I think we're good to just have that happening. And we're going to cut to Lighthammer getting to Gun Wizard. They're like leaned up against the back of a concession stand where the bull has slammed them against the wall. Like we can see like holes from the bull's horns, and they are slumped over unconscious. They look relatively okay, battered and bruised, but unconscious.
I think I'm gonna stand over the gun wizard who is slumped over, and I'm like, I hate ridiculous supervillains. And I just lean down and like pick them up and like kind of like throw them over my shoulder, which is not nearly as effortless for me as it was for Ryder, because while I am strong, I am not that strong. And I like just start walking off in the distance while Enki rides animals around the zoo. Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets, T.B. Huth, and Elliot Peterson, and edited by Anthony Sheets and Sean Geddes. Anthony can be found on Twitter at IcyNewYear or at IcyNewYear.com. T is a theater artist and educator in the DC area. She can be found at T.Huth Playwright on Twitter or TPHuth94 on Instagram. Elliot can be found at Elliot Elen, ELLIOTYLEN on Twitter. Sean can be found at The Crumpit, THECRUMPIT on Twitter. Moon Harbor Heroes is played using Masks: A New Generation, written by Brendan Conway and produced by Magpie Games. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or on Patreon at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music in this issue is Black Vortex by Kevin MacLeod. This issue is GM'd by Anthony Sheets. Ryder Typhon is played by Kaido Kane. Kaido is a Twitch personality and loves their 3 mischievous cats. You can find them at The Versian on Twitter or as Kaido Kane on twitch.tv. Asimov is played by EXPHP. You probably won't find him at It's EXPHP on Twitter, but it's worth a try. Enki is played by Simon Meskins. You can find him as at Gilbereka, GILBERREKE on Twitter. Lighthammer is played by T. Huth. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice or tell a friend. 5-star reviews and word of mouth are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out at patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus issues each month. And thank you for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.
Apparently capybaras go, "Oh!"
What the fuck?
I love it. I've
Oh
heard
my
it once
God.
in person. It's amazing.